Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss the 2010 version of Clash of the Titans, starring Sam Worthington, Gemma Arterton, Mads Mikkelsen, Alexa Davalos, Ray Fiennes, and Liam Neeson, and directed by Louis Leterrier, the Incredible Hulk and the Transporter director. And let me just say, I remember going to theaters for this in 3D right after Avatar came out. And what did I think of it? There may have been some good shots in 3D, but did I like the movie? Let's get into it and we'll find out. The opening narration felt very bloated as we see Perseus as a baby being helped and grown up with Spyros when he's a demigod and son of Zeus. As it will be explained later on in a flashback, as a man, Perseus, played by Sam Worthington from Avatar, like I said, is a fisherman, and my problem with Worthington as the character is he doesn't feel as young as Harry Hamlin was back in 1981, and he seems rather stiff as Perseus, in my opinion. Perseus, with his family witnessing the soldiers breaking Zeus's statue down, and the clouds turn dark as Hades, played by Ray Fiennes, declares war against man, and as Perseus's family dies from drowning, and all of this is the first 10 minutes of the movie. And this is a shorter movie than the original, with an hour and 46 minutes. Hades shows his face to Zeus, played by Liam Neeson, who I enjoy seeing in a lot of movies, including recently in Honest Thief, as Zeus tells Hades to do his thing by turning people against one another. And this plot is very muddled as it's told, and that is unacceptable, honestly. Perseus is taken to the king, whose daughter Andromeda, played by, this time, Alexa Davalos, whose mother torments her by the cause of the war by man, and Hades comes in and sees Perseus and says, interesting, and puts him down for a brief moment or two, as Hades kills the queen and gives the town 10 days until he releases the Kraken, or else they sacrifice Andromeda. Now, that is the same problem I've had last week, except 20 days difference. Draco, played by Mads Mikkelsen, tortures Perseus, as they're led to believe he's a demigod, but Perseus denies he's a demigod and gets a visitor named Io, played by Gemma Arterton, who's attractive in real life, I'll say. And I'll review it again in Quantum of Solace when I get to the Daniel Craig James Bond era, as she tells the story of how he became a demigod and is thrown in the water with his mother in a coffin, as she watches him his entire life as he grew up. Draco tells Perseus, I don't even know if it's Draco or Drago anymore, that's ridiculous, takes Perseus to the mission to save the town as well as Andromeda. And this is almost the same movie as last time, but done quicker and shorter than the original, and the CGI is awful looking. Perseus and Draco go on the adventure to find the three witches that'll tell him how to kill the Kraken, while Draco teaches Perseus how to fight with a sword, while Zeus and gives Perseus, a sword from the gods, and finds a flying horse named Pegasus, who chooses Zeus at the time, Perseus this time, as it calms Pegasus down, or Io calls Pegasus down, and the group gets ambushed by a monster of Calibus and chases him to a desert where they find in his blood some giant scorpions with some bad looking special effects. And the fight scene was rather poor, as Perseus is almost killed by the giant scorpion. Io saves his life, and Draco kills one earlier, while the other men killed another one as a team, and Perseus kills the last one, but there's three queen scorpions, or giant scorpions, let's say, and some creatures stop the scorpions for killing them. And Perseus is poisoned by venom and Hades, and I'm from Hades, and I'm finding the movie very poorly paced despite it's a shorter movie than the original. And to be honest, this is an unnecessary remake, kind of like The Omen, where I had to ask myself, why did they remake it in the first place? But this is sort of better, I guess. They ride some scorpions to get to the three witches, thanks to the creatures, as they heal Perseus, and they get to the three witches with one eyeball and tells them a weakness, which is the head of Medusa. So now they have to get the head of Medusa. Meanwhile, Perseus is encountered by Zeus and hands Perseus an expensive coin to get in Medusa's cave. And Perseus asks for help from the gang to Medusa's head to get Medusa's head. What am I saying? And they join him and get a smoggy land, and the creature throws a coin, one of the creatures that joins them later on, to get a boat to Medusa's cave. Meanwhile, Io teaches Perseus how to avoid and not get killed by Medusa in her eyes, and they complete, and everyone in the group gets into Medusa's cave and fight Medusa, and the effects on her look absolutely horrible. And her eyes turning into stone is the worst effect I've seen in the movie, as it kind of hurts my eyes and head, and everybody dies except for Perseus, who finally got to the head of Medusa, which felt very convenient this time. Io gets killed by Calibus, and Perseus fights Calibus, and Calibus is stabbed in the stomach by Perseus, as Calibus says, "Don't become like one of them." And have a few last words with Io, and Pegasus arrives, and Perseus rides the horse. Meanwhile, Zeus says to Hades, "Release the Kraken," in his menacing voice, and they call Andromeda's name, and the Kraken is released and heads towards the town, while Perseus rides Pegasus to the town, and the Kraken just looks so bad. Perseus arrives, and some evil-looking creature chases Perseus around, and the effects on these things are just unacceptable. As he lands, Perseus shows Medusa's head to the Kraken, as it turns to stone and sees Andromeda, and Hades is thrown back to the underworld by Perseus, sword of God, and Perseus saves Andromeda, and she wants him to be as king, but he can't, nor can he stay, and the climax is just the most ridiculous I've seen, as it's unacceptable. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.7 out of 10. The effects look so awful, I can't believe my eyes. The plot is a bunch of nonsense, as it's very laughable. And this is another remake that is completely unnecessary, like The Omen. This is the most ridiculous and the most unacceptable movie I've had to watch for the show. So I would like to thank you guys for joining me, and I will be back with Wrath of the Titans. And until then, release the Kraken!